What's up, y'all? This is like my second or third time trying to record this. I'm really tired today. Excuse me, my camera just cut off. Like right when I'm getting to like the beef or the not the beef, the meat of what I'm talking about. Um Happy birthday, Malcolm X, aka El-Haj Malik Shabazz. It's one of my top martyrs, heroes, people that I respect, and he has a legacy. His family has always been under attack because they always were standing up, and people are scared these days. Damn, now my battery wanna damn near die. I'm gonna try to speed this up because I can be very detailed and whatever, but I'm really tired because oppression don't stop even beyond my life. Like, I just hope everything works out for everybody. I'm praying on it and everything and more, because a prayer by itself is just not it by itself. You have to follow through with it. But I got some bullet points. Yes. Excuse me. Malcolm X's father is part of the Garveyites, Marcus Garvey, and was killed by Ku Klux Klan members. If you guys didn't know that, don't just watch the movie, read some of his books. Okay. I talked about meeting his family already. Did I? Oh, no. Yes, I was blessed to meet a couple of his family members between 2011 and 2014. It ended sadly of a situation, but I was blessed to meet them on some educational stuff and everything. Things was looking hopeful. Yeah, but we're still under attack, and it's just really frustrating and sad as a people. And they want to attack people that could be potential leaders. Like, that shit is just so evil. Okay, I have to like switch the camera around because basically his relevance, so the stuff he talked about is still very relevant today. Very, very relevant. A lot of things that's going on now is the same things he was talking about, and then a lot of solutions that he was trying to apply that seems like nobody wants to follow through with, or they're being hidden and tucked. And maybe that's a good thing, maybe that's a bad thing. But I feel like people are scared to do some of the things he was trying to do, follow through with. A lot of it does take some money and resources. Y'all gotta excuse the people walking around me and stuff. They're like exercising and stuff. But I'm just sitting here getting some air. I really should be like indoors right now. I'm so tired, but I had to get some sunshine and air for a couple of hours. Sorry that. So, but I'm trying to get my energy up for this because I recorded 3 times and the camera started tripping all 3 times or 2 times before this, and I had some good stuff. And now I'm just getting all drained. And it's getting chilly. So his relevance is still holds value, and I just feel like if you disagree with what he was about that was relevant before and after his pilgrimage, because he didn't really change much. Like, they tried to water down because they couldn't really hide him from us, so they had to kind of like tell partial truths when they told us about him in, like, school, grade school and stuff like that, elementary or whatever, because they couldn't hide Malcolm X from us. Malcolm X was a very popular person, and our parents and grandparents was still alive. That was when he was around, so he couldn't be hidden. They didn't feel like hearing their mouth saying, "Why y'all not talking about Malcolm X?" And like y'all talking about Martin Luther King. And note, because I used to hold Martin Luther King on a pedestal too. Note that Martin Luther King, everything that you heard about Martin Luther King, you need to do a little more research. Martin Luther King was not. What is nonviolent? Because nonviolent could mean you defending yourself too. You could be a not violent person, but you might have to defend yourself with what they would call violence. We got the fucking bloodline, so I don't know why we so scary, because people is telling us to turn the other cheek. That shit is not effective. You don't even gotta do nothing sometimes. Sometimes you just gotta growl back or growl at these motherfuckers. Anyway, I'm not talking about that right now. I don't even mean to cuss, because I need to post this somewhere. Cuss words is not the same thing as cursing somebody. It's just words that I'm just saying. So yes, Martin Luther King was not what you thought, if you really know. And it wasn't all bad. The first things he was doing kind of was bad to the black community. We thought it was good because we wanted to be next door to the enemy. We wanted to integrate with the enemy, but in reality, we should have just been smashing for the resources. Or we should have just built up our own resources to be better than or just as good as what we thought they had. Because now we just think we all that trying to get they stuff, like educations and stuff like that, when we limited based on their limitations of the situation, and then we just a happy slave with that, and you think you better than the next person with that if you have the wrong mentality. And that's dangerous just as well, because you can be a person, a house Negro, whether you got their stuff or not, but you so happy to be with them people and be a Uncle Tom in the definition that people be using it in, or Auntie Tom, and you sitting up there giving up some game or snitching or trying to harper over some other of your brothers and sisters and ruin their life because you next door, you're friends with the enemy, and they're looking to you to get information and stereotypes and etc., so they can push out and use that against us, and you're sitting up there selling out like that. And that's why I don't like like people that want to be in the category of the term house niggas, Negroes, niggas, whatever, because you're doing some dangerous stuff, just as dangerous as some of these quote-unquote gang violent street nigga motherfuckers, which is only a percentage of what's going on when it comes to black on black crime, because the rest of this stuff is orchestrated by the people behind the scenes. But y'all don't even think about that. Y'all don't think that deep. Y'all don't think that far. Y'all don't see that far, and that's frustrating. But no, I start sounding like a conspiracy theorist when I talk like that, but it's receipts and facts. See, do you see? And that's just the tip of the iceberg of that. But I'm not going to go off into all that right now. Okay. Am I going to the next bullet point? So yes, Martin Luther King, in the end, he got killed because he wanted to pull out of the agreements that the government or whoever was paying him amongst that whole situation. He wanted to pull out and be with the other movements. This is just in short. This is not exactly, the word from word of the situation, but this is pretty much kind of like what it was. And then the government, y'all love that Jesse Jackson dude who was supposed to be his partner. They always get some people that look like us to help set up the situation. Yeah, I said it. And I found this out 10 years ago when I was, not 10 years ago, but whatever. I found a lot of stuff more than 10 years ago, and that's facts. Don't try to play with my knowledge just because of some more self-hatred stuff. Let's all not doubt each other's not. Who cares about, we should not be tripping like that. Oh, I know this more than you and that more than you. I'm doing this video in the quickest time period I can, and I know I'm spitting 90% facts with no book in front of me right now, and I'm tired. I'm off of 3 hours of sleep. So, and I'm trying to honor the the ancestor Malcolm X. He's in the ancestral realm, and he wanted people to finish pushing out his agenda. Like, why isn't there a million Malcolm X's anyway? I'm not going to give up game with that on this unless somebody already is, like, because everything is kind of public anyway. I'm pretty sure we all should be some type of leaders with some type of percentage of principles from Malcolm X, because then we would get further. Anyway, I just feel like people love to just be bitches and house niggas and just be comfortable like that. We can't even like try to get our own comfort and liberate our own comfort and stuff like that. It's like we just think we have to be comfort in the enemies, like forms of things, or from their handouts of things. I'm not talking about like government assistance. I'm talking about like just not being independent in general. Like, of course we get what's due to us, but I'm saying, like, why do you think you have to move to a neighborhood to be their neighbor or whatever? Yes, we have a lot of bad stuff in our hoods, but we need to fix all of that ourselves. Stop relying on their tactics to fix those things. Like, get that white-mindedness out of your mind, that slave master-mindedness out of your mind. Get that pathetic slave mentality away and refreshen or revive that warrior blood or something. Because I don't know where it's at these days. It's in some people. Big ups to them. And I'm not saying go out here on no killing sprees or nothing. I'm saying just stand up. United we stand, divided we fall. We made that saying up. Something like that. We did it if we didn't make it up. Shit. Okay. I hope I'm touching on all the points that I meant to touch on. Okay, it's another point that, one more thing before I go to the next one. So yeah, we have a lot of issues that when we look back at them 30, 40, 50 years later, like even apartheid happened 30 plus years ago, and people thought that was something. Even this Oakland Coliseum out here in Oakland, parents, God family, they went to the Oakland Coliseum waving the red, black, and green flag since Mandela came out here. And that was a bamboozlement like Obama, and that was a very dangerous bamboozlement, but people learned sometime after it sprinkled over here like 10 or 15 years ago and got word that Mandela sold South Africa out because he was in jail, but his comrades was in jail too, but they were being more tortured and mistreated than him and killed off. Winnie Mandela was even a person that was being tortured really bad. If they didn't torture her in prison, they tortured her and her family when she was out, and she had to keep moving and stuff. And she didn't change her stance. She was very angry with Mandela because he just all of a sudden was in prison. Then you start getting into these mansions in prison. They pampering you for something. And then they had them sign something to do their financial thing to sell them out instead of giving them independence from the colonizing British people. I bring that up because okay, let me back up a little bit. I brought that up because I was blessed to have, our parents was telling us about Malcolm X. They was telling us about Martin Luther King, but I was also blessed to have a teacher that did half of a semester, a percentage of a semester about Malcolm X, and he put a lot of shit on the table about Malcolm X that made me be like, I used to jog Martin Luther King because my birthday is 4 days after his birthday. So I kind of always was like, hella like, black people, they don't want, just like, it was something noticeable to me. But when I learned about Malcolm X, oh my God, like when I was like 10 or 11, I learned about Malcolm X. I was just like, wait a minute. The movie came out when I was 11 though, but I learned about Malcolm X before that movie. but I didn't know all the details. When we went to go see them, that was one thing we did do with my mom, and we were just like, whoa. But the movie was like, I don't know how accurate the movie was. They said it was like maybe 75% accurate because they didn't get all the information correct directly from the family and whoever. They only had some. But I was just like, that man was powerful. Oh, that's another thing I want to say. So they tried. So when we heard about Malcolm X from like the white teachers and stuff like that, they always be like, well, he changed after because he wasn't really right what he was saying before. That's a lie. He did not fully change his stance on how he felt about white supremacy after his pilgrimage. He only said that white supremacy is not just really a skin color. It's like a state of mind. He didn't say them exact words, but that's what he was saying. He still prioritized black people in the blueprints to try to get us independence and liberated, at least like continuing some Marcus Garvey type work. And they killed him in that process. So he met with other big name people of those public figure people that was public figures in Africa and here as well at those times. If he wouldn't have got killed, we probably would be a step better. And that's where I'm gonna move on to. And these is things, that's coming off my head. I don't have a book. I don't have nothing right in front of me. Just stuff that I studied for years and years and years. Because I read his books. I don't really care too much for the newer books from these white authors that way after he died type of stuff. Some BS, weird shit that they made about him. But, yeah. This is Oakland. People come here. People get close with people here and visit people here that are legends and have king and queen principles, true king and queen principles, and they spread some of their wisdom. That's another way I was blessed to learn some of these things. I'm not always perfect with my facts, but I be close and I be having them. Sometimes I just have to refer to it to make sure I have the name or the year or the date correct or whatever. But one of my pet peeves, and that's a whole nother topic, is people trying to underestimate what I know. While I be teaching at the same time, y'all be trying to knock my confidence. I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to say the bitch word. I'm not going to stop, though, even though I be tired and stuffy and shit. Ooh, okay, so I'm going to move on to another point. Maybe it's the last point, maybe not. The other point is the main mistake that he made. We already know he made some mistakes, like through the process of him being Malcolm X. Especially, I'm not talking about before he became a Muslim. Honestly, I don't really see the mistakes that he made while he was with the Nation of Islam, because they was not, from my observation and readings, they was just mad because he was going hella hard on his stance and what he was talking about and preaching and actions he was taking. And the religions, some of these religious sectors be getting paid by the government, so they have limitations on how hard they can go. And then I guess he got into it with the dude about his personal life. Okay. It's about to curse. Oh, I'm so tired. Oh my God. I was about to curse because it was like, damn, you turned your engine hella loud, like on purpose or something. Maybe I'm tripping. Anyway, damn, I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, that's right. Nobody, this is no snitching, right? This don't got nothing to do with snitching. I mean, public wise, it's a mistake. Everybody makes mistakes and you correct them later, but don't make them to where it's like stupid and then you want to justify, you're making a mistake before you make the mistake. Don't do them type of mistakes. But basically, the most religious organizations that are big and stuff like that, they're getting some type of government funding. And most of the time when the government knows their whole agenda, they have limitations. If there's more details about this, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is what I observed, even just dealing with stuff here and now. If you're not a grassroots organization from scratch, you're going to be limited, and especially if you're public, you're going to be limited on what you can do and say. So Malcolm X was going hella hard. There was nothing wrong with what he was doing. He was doing the damn thing for the black community and set an example. And all them people had to do really was just be his minions. And I'm not talking about a minion that stay a minion. I'm talking about like all them people had to do was just turn into another Malcolm X, like a virus or something, or bacteria, but in a good way. I'm going to say like bunny rabbits or like Africans, where you multiply of the same type of thing, and then we would be in a different position today too. But yeah, the main mistake, I didn't even go to that. This ain't the mistake necessarily. This is just something that, from what I had to like check on. I could be wrong because I know it's more different things than what I'm saying, but I know that when you are a religious institution, 9 times out of 10, you're getting government funding and you have limitations on what you could be talking about and publicly doing and talking about. And the dude, I don't want to call him the dude because he is a respectable person and he was an elder, but at the same time, he did do some stuff that was like irrespectable. And nobody really say nothing about it. But he did. So he was like, what are you doing, Malcolm X? I'm not saying everything exact word for word, but he was like, why are you doing? You're doing too much. And then he's like, well, you got these little girls. I'm not going to go into details about that. But they wasn't like, no, I'm not even going to say all that. I just know he was like 50 or 60 or older or a little younger, maybe my age. I don't know, but them was little girls. And so he was just like, but you could get away. Like, I don't know, you know how people could get away. Just like situations where people be like, they going crazy off something. There's new stuff out here that's old but new. And they think their kids is demons crying while they crying in the crib, and they be choking the kids out and stuff, but people still let them keep them. And then you got somebody that just had a bad day and forgot to clean up a mess when they rushed out the house and their kids get took. Type of shit. But this other person is a weirdo that just molested somebody's niece 3 months ago, and they able to keep their kids because they on that stuff, but they just living reckless. Everybody know they crazy, but they able to keep their kids like 5 days a week. And who knows what they doing with them kids. And the kids is traumatized, but everybody turns a blind eye to it. So it's kind of like that. So you're being allowed to do something, and you guys are kind of like rich and stuff. Not rich, but you guys are okay with this religious thing. Don't get mad at me. I'm just a messenger. Don't nobody attack me or whatever with this information. But it was like he was tripping off that or whatever. I didn't even really want to say all this part on here because I don't think it's really relevant to anything. Because Malcolm X was just going hard, period. And he was standing up for black people. He is the one that stood out, at least said, black people need to do our beef and handle our arguments and issues behind closed doors. Maybe he learned from that. I don't know. Because that went public to a degree. I don't know if what he was saying went public, but the fallout went public, of course, because he wasn't with them anymore. And then he did his pilgrimage, but he still had the same stance. It just was like, he just wasn't doing it through the Nation of Islam people. He was doing it through regular Islam. But yeah, at that time, before he passed away, this is when he started doing this red, black, and green actions. They wasn't calling it red, black, and green. I'm just saying this what he was doing, uniting African people. That's what he was trying to do. He was trying to strengthen our unity with connections, meeting with other leaders and African leaders and stuff like that. And he was getting really close to making it widespread. And that's when they got him. And the mistake that I'm saying that he made, y'all could tell me any other mistakes. I really, honestly, I don't really see no major mistakes with him. It is what it is. The only mistake that I see that he would make, that I would think about, just like we look back at the mistakes everybody else made. Some people listen to the media, the mainstream media, about these so-called mistakes that people's making, like how they keep throwing Huey Newton under the bus, and they didn't know how bad crack was. What year is this? 40 something years ago. They didn't know how bad crack was. Just like some people unfortunately don't know how bad meth is. I don't see how you don't know how bad that was. That been not in our community, and we was looking at the people who community it was, and like, they're so weird and crazy. It's almost like sniffing glue. Now it's in our community, and y'all still doing that shit. It's weird. But a lot of people don't know how bad this GMO weed is nowadays. But that's that. But I say all that to say, COINTELPRO, which exists still today, is just in a different name, and you don't recognize it when it's hitting you or happening all the time. Some people, especially if you're not thinking like this. But yeah, COINTELPRO is definitely under attack. Started with Marcus Garvey. J. Edgar Hoover designed the program. And then it was going on with Martin Luther King. It was definitely going on with Malcolm X family. The Ku Klux Klan had been, and whoever racist, we don't even know if it was just regular Ku Klux Klan from around that corner. It could have been a government ordered murder on Malcolm X's father. But they were just like, in that 50-year time period, they were trying to get the game of the whole situation. So now that we should know that, and then all these another thing, that's why I get so frustrated with how hateful we are towards each other, and just don't be thinking deeper that we have a fucking enemy that makes us come against each other. Huey Newton, my camera tripping. Huey Newton and Bobby Seale, I forget which Panther members it was. I think it was Bobby Seale. The FBI wrote them a letter, intervened on their mail, and wrote them fake letters to each other to make them beef. So you gotta think about how people be doing that, making people divide with each other like that. We be hella stupid. That shit. But hold on. Yeah, sorry about that. In this neighborhood, some people probably recognize it. I really feel scrappily today. Ooh, I just really had to dedicate this today. But yeah, we quick to not get along. It was just a little argument earlier when I had to return something to a store. The people was in there tripping over a mask, and just attitude, black on black girls arguing, the security guard and a customer, and it's they've been kind of having stank energy in that store from my observation, and it's just we quick to do that, and it's really just out of frustration. And then some stuff you shouldn't even be taking personal. You should just brush it off. It ain't like they know you. The only time I get really, really, really mad is when somebody do get close to me and they get to know me, then they try to judge me and belittle me like that, and it's I'm not even doing nothing to you. Why you doing that? I ain't take nothing from you. I ain't do nothing from you. I ain't disrespect you. Why you sitting here trying to judge my life? Oh, because you want to be my slave master. You have slave master mentality or something. But anyway, we be beefing too easy. And the conquer and divide shit really be happening. Willie Lynch. And that shit is a damn shame. And then we don't even, but I thought everybody knew about the Panther leaders coming against each other on some FBI letter beef. Because back then they didn't have text. And they might do that in text. I feel like they be doing that with Facebook and text messages too. Like saying something you didn't say, or it come out wrong, or the type be wrong, and then people be thinking that you beefing with them online, and it be your beloved friends from somewhere, not no strangers that already be tripping out. But in general, so think about those things before we be quick to bite each other's heads off, because the ancestors is watching, and they be like, tis, 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 woo child. So anyway, but if y'all even give a damn, sadly it seems like y'all don't. It seems like people want to be some bitches compared to, another thing, Malcolm X had a strong stance on protecting black women. Now it's just a bunch of excuses. People be flinching and stuff when you bring up a 16-year-old getting shot by the police. It's a child. They start flinching because they don't have the mentality to have the ability to care, to help be contributing to protecting their children, boy and girls, and be an example. No, you don't have to get yourself killed necessarily, but an ounce of prevention is better than a pound of cure, and we're not doing that enough, especially with the village concept. And we got so many dividing factors going on right now with that. I don't entertain YouTubers that are working for them people and happy to work for them people, really probably free, to be dividing the village concept because they some bitches and they want to veer away from this topic. Yeah, we be always having y'all backs, except for the few spoiled rotten apple bitches that's Auntie Toms and just fucking stupid women, stupid black women. You worried about the wrong shit, fuck them. And it's too many Uncle Toms in the definition that it be used. Y'all know what I mean, because I know Uncle Tom has a different definition, but y'all get what I mean. So, yes, that's a very frustrating thing these days. It hurts our feelings when people disrespect black women and feel like we're just stupid. And there's children versus, just getting knee jerking about and like demon possessed when somebody brings up the protection of women and children. You just don't have no warrior in you, boy. You just don't have no warrior in you. I don't even know if I can say this word on here. Will they be like sissy? I don't know if I'm supposed to say that or not. But yeah, that's just disgraceful, because we be wanting that. I don't know what's wrong with the women that act like they don't. I don't know. Maybe they think they white inside. But we need it, not just necessarily we want it. But that's why I go with originality. I'm not really